Welcome to Week 18, predicting every game on the NFL schedule. Now, I didn't do this last week because uh New Year's and stuff. I was doing things, so I didn't have my computer with me, so I couldn't make a video. But this week I'm gonna do it, and it should come out Saturday because there's no Thursday night game. So this should come out Saturday at like 7. So this week. There's a lot of possibilities, not as many as there have been, obviously, but teams can miss the playoffs who are in right now, and teams can make the playoffs who aren't in right now. So let's start off with predicting all the games. First, we have the Bears versus the Packers, and I think that the Packers are going to beat the Bears because they're playing for the sixth seed, so they're not going to sit anyone, and the Packers are a better team than the Bears, but the game should be close. Washington versus the Cowboys. I think that this is tough. I think Washington's gonna win. The Cowboys beat Washington already this season, but that was a fluke game. There's a high scoring game. I think Washington will beat the Cowboys. I think they're done. And Washington is also playing for the six seed, so they're gonna try. Even though they might sit their starters if they like if the Packers are up by a lot or if they don't care about the six or seven seed. Or if the Packers lose, I think they're locked into the six. But they play at the same time. Saints vs Bucks. I think that the Bucks are going to beat the Saints because the Bucks win their in, so this is obviously a very important game for them. So yeah, I think Bucks win. Falcons vs Panthers. This is a tough one. I think it's not that tough. I think the Falcons are gonna win. Michael Penix is young, but this Panthers defense is bad. It's his third game, and if the Falcons win, they have a chance to make the playoffs. Giants vs Eagles. The Eagles are gonna sit their starters. This is a close game, but I still think the Eagles are gonna win. They're still a better team, and the Giants. Oh, the defense is badly injured, and they're just not a great team. All right, so the Seahawks vs the Rams. I think the Seahawks are gonna win because I just remember the Rams are gonna sit their starters because they're locked into the 4 seed. And yeah, I think they might be able to go up to the 3 seed if the Bucks lose. So then maybe they might try to play their starters. But if the Bucks are winning by a lot, they might sit everyone. And I think those two teams are close. The Seahawks are gonna be very motivated to beat the Rams just because the Seahawks, uh, even though they're out of the playoffs, they still want to have some momentum. So yeah, I think they're gonna beat the Rams. Niners vs Cardinals. These teams both out of the playoffs, but I think the Niners are better, and I think the Niners are gonna beat the Cardinals. The Cardinals have been playing bad recently, same as the Niners, but I think Niners win. Vikings vs Lions. This is a night game. This is probably obviously the best game of the week. This ties the 1 seed. I think the Vikings are gonna win and get the 1 seed. And then AFC side, Browns vs Ravens. I think the Ravens are gonna beat the Browns. If they win this, I'm pretty sure they're locked into the 3 seed. Yeah, they're locked into winning the division if they win this. So yeah, and Bengals vs Steelers. I actually think the Bengals are gonna beat the Steelers. I don't know how they're favored though, but I think this game matters a lot for the Bengals. And if the Steelers see that the Ravens beat the Browns, then they definitely cannot get the 3 seed, so they might sit their starters. Cause I don't think they'll leave the 6 seed. There's a chance though. And the Bengals are obviously more motivated than the Steelers, but the Steelers could win. They're a great defensive team, and their offense could easily exploit the Bengals defense. But I think Bengals win. Texans vs Titans. I think the Titans beat the Texans. The Texans are gonna sit their starters, and the Titans beat them the last time they played when the Texans played all their starters. So if they sit them, Titans are gonna win. Jags vs Colts. This is a tough one, but I think the Colts are gonna win. They're a better team than the Jags, even though the Colts defense is terrible. This is gonna be a high scoring game, but I just think whoever the Colts play at quarterback is better than Mac Jones. Bills vs Patriots. I'm pretty sure the Bills are sitting their starters. Yeah, they're definitely going to sit their starters. So I think Patriots win. The last time they played the Bills, which was like 2 weeks ago, it was pretty close. It wasn't. It was pretty close at the beginning, and the Bills still covered. So yeah, I think it still came close to covering, but it was 24-21 at the end of the game. So yeah, I think Patriots win if the Bills sit their starters. Chargers vs Raiders. I think that the Chargers are gonna beat the Raiders because uh I just think they're the better team, and if the Steelers win and they lose, they can go down to the 6th seed, which would matter because if they go down to the 6th seed, they play the Ravens, and the Texans are very beatable. The Ravens aren't as beatable. So yeah, I think they're gonna play hard and beat the Raiders. And now Chiefs vs Broncos. I think that the Broncos are gonna beat the Chiefs because the Chiefs have all their backups in, even though it might be close. But the Broncos are a playoff team. The Chiefs backups are bad. So I like the Broncos in this spot. And then this would end any hope of the Bengals making the playoffs or the Dolphins. Dolphins vs Jets. I think the Dolphins are gonna beat the Jets because the Jets are not a good team at all. And the Dolphins have shown to have good spots here and there. So that's all the predictions for this week. Now I want to go through some of the playoff implications that some of these games might have and how some teams can make the playoffs and some teams can miss the playoffs. There's a few ways all that can happen. The the NFC is pretty much locked in because these three teams will make it. These two teams are gonna make it. But see, if the Lions win, they get the 1 seed, which that's a big deal. The Lions can go from the 1, and the Vikings go to the 5. This is a big game, playoff implications, but obviously none of those teams are gonna miss the playoffs. But if the Falcons win, the Bucks lose, then the Falcons make the playoffs, and they're the 4th seed. So the Falcons can make the playoffs if this happens, because they have obviously beaten all the teams in division. So yeah, the last game with the Falcons were big. If they would have beat Washington, they would be in a winning situation, but they didn't. So they were Saints fans this week. If the Saints beat the Bucks, the Falcons are in if they win. So I'm pretty sure that's all because the Seahawks are done even if they win. So yeah, the AFC is a lot better. Let's say the Chiefs beat the Broncos. Now the Dolphins would get in at 9-8 if the Chiefs beat the Broncos, which is a big deal because the Broncos have been they just have to win one game for the past like 2 or 3 weeks. They would have been in. So if the Broncos missed, that would be a huge disappointment if they lost to the Chiefs backups. No one would get fired or anything because they still overachieved, but it would be very upsetting. So yeah, and if the Dolphins lose to the Jets, then the Bengals are in the playoffs, which that would be shocking if the Bengals got in. But yeah, the Bengals can be in if the Dolphins lose to the Jets and the Broncos lose to the Chiefs and the Bengals win. So they need a lot. Okay. Now for seeding, let's say Steelers win against the Bengals, then they would have the 5th seed, which is like I said is big. They get to play Houston, which they could beat Houston because the Houston's offense isn't great and the Steelers defense is great. So the Steelers offense would have to do much in that game. So that'd be big for the Steelers getting to the second round. And then especially for the Chargers, if they get the 6th seed, so they have to play the Ravens. I think it's possible, but that'd be pretty tough. So yeah. And if the Steelers beat the Broncos and the Dolphins lose, the Broncos win no matter what, obviously. But let's assume the Broncos win, which wouldn't change anything in this scenario. But and then obviously the Dolphins. I think that's it. If the Bills beat the Patriots, nothing really changes. And if the Texans win, can they get to the three? No, they can't. If the Ravens lose, I mean, there is one more scenario. If the Ravens lose and the Steelers win, they get the 3 seed, which would be big, obviously. But either way, if that happens, the Steelers will play the Ravens. If the Steelers win, either if the Steelers win, they're gonna play the Ravens no matter what. But home field advantage would be big in that game because I don't know if the Moors ever beat the Steelers in the Steelers home building. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This isn't like a crazy week 18, a bunch of teams winning in scenarios. There's only like 3 teams who on and who could get in. But obviously, like I said, this is how I think that it's gonna go. Like I see here, nothing changing. This is how these are my predictions. And thank you for watching. This is my NFL Week 18 predictions. Sorry for not uploading yesterday, but I'll be uploading every day. Uh, yesterday, today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'll upload on all those days. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and share for more.